Alright, everybody, piece of paper, MLA it. We're doing notes 24.4. Alright, this is on lipids.
So, in this chapter of 24.4 in lipids, we connect to your world. Candles were an early invention of ancient civilizations. Candlesticks that date to at least 5,000 years ago have been found with other artifacts from civilizations of ancient Egypt and Crete. But before the invention of electric lighting, wax candles were the major source of lighting in homes. In this section, you will read more about waxes, similar compounds that make up the class biomolecules known as lipids.
Triglycerides.
Lipids tend to dissolve readily in organic solvents such as ether, chloroform, rather than highly polar solvents such as water. This property sets them apart from most biological substances such as carbohydrates and proteins.
Phospholipids.
In water, phospholipids spontaneously from a spherical double layer called a lipid bilayer in which the hydrophobic tails of phospholipid molecules are sandwiched between the two layers of hydrophilic heads.
Waxes.
And we just...
Now we're going to Pics. Right? Okay.
Absolutely.
So figure 24.10, moderate levels of dietary fats and oils are essential to health. Figure 24.11, these photographs illustrate soap making. Once the soap is formed, it is poured into molds. Later, it may be milled or shredded with scent or color added on then remolded to produce a finished product. Figure 24.12, a space-filling model of lecithin is shown here. In the simplified representation above, the hydrophilic head is shown as a sphere and the hydrophobic tails as wavy lines. Figure 24.13, a cell membrane has a lipid bilayer structure. The hydrophilic heads are in contact with water, but the hydrophobic tails are not. The lipid molecules move easily within their own layer, but do not readily move to the other layer. So on your notes, you're going to be copying down figure 24.12. And then we'll do RQs.
Simple figure.
Figure 24.12. You're welcome.
Alright, everybody move down a couple of lines and label your paper RQ 1 and 2. Can somebody read the first question?
What physical property sets lipids apart from biological substances such as carbohydrates and proteins?
Alright, capital L. Lipids tend to dissolve readily. Lipids tend to resolve readily.
Capital L. Dissolve readily.
Lipids tend to resolve readily in organic solvents, such as ether and chloroform.
In what?
CHL.
Such as ether and chloroform, rather than in highly polar solvents, such as water.
Ether and chloroform and then what?
Rather than in highly polar solvents, such as water. Capital L. Lipids tend to dissolve readily in organic solvents, such as ether and chloroform, rather than in highly polar solvents, such as water.
Go ahead.
Yep.
Yes, Juan?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
You want to go second?
Sure. Number 2.
Somebody read the second question.
Somebody read it very loudly.
How do phospholipids behave in water?
That wasn't loud enough.
Rudely.
Alright, well, that's good enough. Alright. Number 2. Capital I. In water, phospholipids spontaneously from a spherical double layer.
Hold up.
Phospholipids spontaneously form a spherical double layer called a lipid bilayer. A lipid bilayer. comma, in which the hydrophobic tails of phospholipids molecules. Phospholipid.
Phospholipid
I cannot read his
molecule.
handwriting.
Why can't you just shorten this?
It are sandwiched phospholipids.
Alright, I'm gonna read through it one time.
Yeah, it's long.
In water, comma, phospholipids spontaneously form a spherical double layer called a lipid bilayer, in which the hydrophobic tails of phospholipid molecules are sandwiched between two layers of hydrophilic heads.
Oh, that sounds dirty.
Are
It's
sandwiched
also in the
between two
book.
layers
I mean, we
of
just got it right out
hydrophilic
of
heads.
the key thing. So, I mean, if you guys need to
If we
right
mess,
there.
It's the
if I
bold on
messed up in
776.
anything, it's on the bold of
Huh?
Okay,
Does anyone need it again?
No.
fine.
You guys are amazing.
Turn them in.
Are you guys gonna read your essay questions?
Oh, yeah.
Our essay questions for the last and final.
Our essay questions, they were similar to 7, 8, and 9.
It's 7, 8, 9, but we need the package.
I don't know the question, what the questions are called.
We're gonna start over because he walked back behind you guys.
Okay.
We're on the top.
And you're G4?
Yes.
G4.
G4? There you go. Who's G5 in this?
So, number 7, in which of the following substances can a lipid not dissolve? A, in water. A, spawnification is what type of reaction? A, hydrolysis. And 9, an ester of a long-chain fatty acid and a long-chain alcohol is a wax. Is wax. Wax. I hope I said that.